Hey everybody, it's Mike with the Rails Around Train Guy Show, brought to you by the Rails Around book series, available on my website, michaelckelly.net. Today we're going to take a ride with the Narcoa Speeder Car organization on the Columbia Terminal Railroad. We're going to ride from Columbia all the way up to Centralia and back, and may do that a couple of times, as they're going to do it 3 times. So come along, it's going to be great. Hi, good morning. What's your name?
My name is Stuart Remers. I'm from York, Nebraska.
Okay, and what's the name of the organization?
The organization is run through NARCOA, which is the North American Railcar Operators Association. We're an affiliate of NARCOA, the 1st Iowa Division. Our home base is out of Iowa, but we cover rides in Missouri, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Kansas, and hopefully try to get a few rides in Nebraska, but we're still working on that. I have been with the organization since 2011. And I've been coordinating rides since about 2017.
Today?
We're going to go up to Centralia, Missouri, which is roughly 15 miles or so. And that's where the Norfolk Southern connects with the Columbia Terminal there. We're going to turn on the Y and make a couple round trips back and forth.
Great.
For our first ride of the day, we're going to ride along with car owner Mike DeClerc in his Rio Grande Speeder.
Last car, move.
Motor car owners belong to several clubs which obtain permission from railroads to operate on their tracks. These clubs are under the organizational umbrella of the North American Railcar Operators Association, or NARCOA. With permission of the railroads, members operate their motor cars, also known as speeders, on excursions ranging from 1 day to over a week in almost all parts of the U.S. and Canada. Today's excursion will run from Columbia to Centralia, Missouri and back over the Columbia Terminal Railroad.
I've been a rail fan all my life. I've had scooters since 1991. I bought my first one. I had 10 at one time. I'm down to about 6. But that's the latest one. I started with the MCCA 1991. 6 to 12 times. Depends on how far you want to go. Travel, there's a ride somewhere in the weekend.
Operators must yield for vehicles at every crossing, even ones with gates and signals, as speeders are too lightweight to activate the signal system. We're approaching the end of the line at the Y in Centralia. Here the speeders will each be turned for the return trip to Columbia. Some cars require the Armstrong method of manual strength to lift the cars and turn them around on a grade crossing. Other cars have a hydraulic jack that lowers from the bottom of the cars, lifting the cars off the rail, enabling the car to be spun 180 degrees and lowered again to run back in the opposite direction.
Good morning. Tell me your names again.
I'm Randy, and this is Kelly Stevenson. Well, we had a neighbor that was interested in railroading, and he had a small car and took us for a ride on it once, and we fell in love with it. So a little time went by, and I just happened to be on one of the websites and saw an ad for some dilapidated old cars up in Iowa. And we decided to go up and take a look, and they were dilapidated. But this is the end result of one of the cars we bought up there.
And you guys do this together as a couple.
We do.
Always, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
I enjoy it. It's something that, when you're riding in the speeder car, it's just the two of us and you're enjoying the scenery and wonderful people along the way. And it's great to be involved in a hobby of like-minded people. So there's never a shortage of conversation. There's just so many things to share. We're heading up to Canada on Tuesday for an excursion. So we're super excited about that.
About 450 miles up there.
You said something off camera that I wanted to ask you about again on camera. You said you guys aren't really into trains. You do this to spend time together.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I will say, for me, it's the experience. It's the experience. We motorcycle. It's like being on the back of a motorcycle for me, where I can just enjoy the scenery going by. And I think for Randy, it's more about operating the machine. Everything on our car he built from the frame up. Every rivet, every bracket, every sheet metal, he built it. So I think for him, it's the love of building something like that and then operating it to bring it out on the rails and have that experience. So
I hear you guys have an anniversary coming up.
oh yeah.
Ah,
well,
well-
no, we just celebrated our 40th wedding
Oh, you just did.
anniversary.
Okay.
Yeah. And Randy asked me, he started talking back in like February or March, what do you want to do for our anniversary? We need to do a big trip. And he's like, do you want to go to Hawaii? How about Europe? And I heard about this Canadian excursion up in Agawa Canyon. It's a scenic railroad, and I was like, that's what I want to do for our anniversary. So
Now, what kind of gal goes along with that, huh?
it's going to be beautiful.
Pretty awesome.
Hopefully we'll catch the autumn leaves turning, and it's going to be a beautiful excursion. I'm really excited about it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Upon arrival at the Colt Transload in Columbia, the cars will once again be spun for another trip to Centralia. This time I'll be riding in the open-air car belonging to Brad Madgen.
I'm Brad Mangan. I live up near Peoria, Illinois.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. And this is your car?
This is my car. Yes. This is a Canadian National, number 131-33. It originally had a cab on it. It's enclosed. I removed the cab because I like being out in the open and feeling the wind. So since I started 3 years ago, I've put 9,000 miles on this car, about 3,000 a year. Also Canada, I've been in 5 Canadian provinces. I like being out in the open. I like being on the rails. When you're on the rails, you get to go places that roads don't go. No one else can really see them unless you're on the rails. I especially like when you get in the woods and off the beaten path.
We depart the transload facility yet again for another trip up to Centralia. This time I'm riding with Brad in his open air car. We're going to go a little faster than the rest, so it's going to be a short trip. After a quick sprint at speeds up to 35 miles an hour, we've arrived at Centralia, where the cars will be turned again for the return trip to Columbia.
A couple follow-up questions that I had was, what do you think the mechanical aptitude needs to be for someone who wants to maintain a car? Is it comparable to an automobile or
Sure.
something?
You just got to know basic engines. I mean, it's either fuel or spark. And a lot of these guys here are farmers and grew up fixing equipment. So whenever something breaks, you check to make sure it's got fuel at the carburetor, make sure it's got spark, and then you work backwards from there to figure out what's going wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so just basic mechanical aptitude. If you can work on your car, you can work on it.
Certainly. Certainly.
Okay, great. Good to know.
As we arrive back in Columbia, our journey comes to an end, but we're going to get a quick explanation from Brad on how he loads his speeder on and off his truck.
Yeah, so this is where I haul it. And it's got built in house. You just pull these out, pin in on both sides. Standard gauge, or if you want to haul narrow gauge, you put your ramps right here. Put your narrow gauge car up on top.
Okay. And then you have a winch to pull it up and then a winch to lower it with. Okay.
Yep. And then these straps will hold it, go to the four wheels.
Nice. Yeah, thanks again for the ride, and
You're very welcome.
see you
Anytime.
soon. Matt,
See you again soon.
thanks again.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
As the operators take one more ride into Columbia, I want to thank the 1st Iowa Division of the North American Railcar Operators Association and Matt Sabeth of the Columbia Terminal Railroad for inviting me on this unique trip. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. For more information, go to www.narcoa.org. See you next time.
Near my